In this video, I'm going to share on how to read a 7-digit number. But before we get started, can you guess how much is the cost of a condominium in Singapore? You might be say $1,000 or maybe $20,000. No, condominium is not that cheap anymore, right? The answer, if you guessed it correctly, is $1 million. And this is a real life example of a 7-digit number. So if you don't know how to read a 7-digit number, maybe in the future where you bought a condominium or even a house, then your friend might ask, how much is your house? And then you might answer, okay, my house costs $10,000,000. Even the painting over here is stressed on what number you're talking about. But if you know how to read a 7-digit number, then you can always answer like this. Oh, my house costs $1 million. And your friends will be impressed. Like, wow, so rich, huh? And then it's an easy win right there. So how do we then read a 7-digit number? So the thing is that if you can read a 3-digit number, you can also read a 7-digit number. So I'm going to prove it to you right here. Okay, but before we get started, let's start small and easy. So how do we read a 3-digit number? So let's do a recap on the different places for each individual digit. So let's get started with the first one, which is 1, which is in the hundreds place. 2 is in the tens place. And the 3 is in the ones place. So how do we then pronounce this number? If your answer is 123, you are right. And that is an easy win. So let's move up to a 4-digit number. So I'm going to share on how to read this simple 4-digit number. First of all, you need to group the first 3 numbers. When I say the first 3 numbers, I'm talking about 1, 2, and 3. So you group them up. And then after that, you add the space after the group. You see the space in between 5 and the 1, 2, 3. So this space is what we call a thousand space. And then after that, we will then put in the word number 5 over here. So with the thousand space in the middle, we will put 5. And then next space will be 1,000. And lastly, we will say 123. So when we say this whole number, we will say 5,123. That's a pretty easy win right there as well. Now, let's try to move another level, which is to read a 6-digit number. And it's the same thing. We need to group the numbers in threes. So we group the first 3 numbers, which is 1, 2, and 3, and the second group, which is 4, 6, and 5. And remember, if we were to group them up, there is always a space. And the space in between 4, 6, 5, and 1, 2, 3 is the thousand space over here. And now, if we were to read this 6-digit number, we will say 465, and the thousand space, we will say 1,000, and lastly, 123. So if we read this whole 6-digit number, we will say 465,123, right? And that is an easy win right there. And now let's move on to the last step, which is the 7-digit number. Don't worry, you already know how to do this. So same thing, we're going to group the first 3 numbers, which is 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to group the second 3 numbers as well. And now we just put the spaces in between the groups, including the 8 over here. So in between 4, 6, 5, and 1, 2, 3, this is the thousand space. And you might guess that the next space that we're going to add is called the million space. So if you're a millionaire, don't forget me. Then this is where we are going to read the whole 7-digit number. So we start from the left, which is 8, and then the space will be million, and then it will be 465 with the thousand, and lastly 123. So if we were to pronounce this whole 7-digit number, we will say 8,465,123. So congratulations, you are able to read a 7-digit number. And that is an easy win right there. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are other things that you want me to go through in the next future videos. That's it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.